Hello everybody, it's vanburman here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a Rome 2 Total War battle replay. Played this the other night and it is a bridge crossing battle. So we've got a ford here and obviously the bridge over here. So I was playing as the Carthaginians and my ally was playing as the Romans. A bit of a weird alliance there, although I suppose just as weird are these guys here. So we've got the Bactrians? I don't know how to pronounce them. And Egypt. I apologise about that. The ones with the funny hat as the sigil. So it turns out that we ended up matching up once again, one against the other, across from each other. So in terms of my army, I'll quickly go through it. I'll go through my opponents as well. Several points I'll probably slow it down, just so we can nip over to the other side of the battlefield, so we can look at how my ally was getting on over there. It's not a particularly long battle, less than 8 minutes, but that's, well, just how quick the battles on Rome 2 are. Now, I didn't choose any of the parameters for the online battle, so I believe we're on like medium or small unit sizes for whatever reason. Which I wouldn't have picked myself, would have had obviously larger ultra, but anyway. So I did go for 4 or 5, 5 units of a Sacred Band. Also had them upgraded as well. These are like, well, for any of you that know, Carthaginians sort of elite troops. We've also got 2 units of Mercenary Noble Fighters, they're elite sword units. 2 units over here of Libyan infantry. These guys are actually not too bad. They do a job. 3 units of heavy shock noble cavalry and a unit of Carthaginian cavalry as well. We also went with 2 units of peltasts and 3 units of Cretan archers as well. That's the thing about the Carthaginians, they seem to rely on mercenary units for the most part, for their more diverse units. So we also have a unit of African war elephants as well. It's always, if you get the option to bring elephants, I always feel as though you should do, just in case you need them. And Egypt, I believe all of these are, oh no, there are some thorax pikemen as well. I think we're running with pretty much all Hellenic Royal Guard pike infantry. So there was because these guys were the defenders, there was a very obvious tactic, and that was get the pikes there, have me run at them, lose all my men, and win the battle. I think that's what it seemed to look like to me anyway. So he also went for African war elephants himself. I think has he got 2 units of it? Yeah, so he's got a general unit and a secondary unit of war elephants also. And then he's got a mixture of Cretan archers and Nubian bowmen as well. These guys are not too bad. They do the job. All these sort of standard archers seem roughly the same in this particular game. So the Hellenic Royal Guard are bloody really good, let me tell you. Very difficult to face head on. So I've not actually had a look at the army compositions of these two, but we'll just have a quick view of my other opponent. So he's got some elite Persian archers, some cataphracts, Royal Guard as well, a thorax pikeman, good value for money those guys, citizen cavalry, not the greatest cav, do a job, some more Persian archers, a good amount of ranged units he's brought there, Indian armoured elephants as well, those guys are different level elephants, those guys. Students of thorax pikemen, and also his general unit, which is a Royal Cavalry as well. Pretty tasty indeed. Now my Roman ally, I thought, brought a really good army considering the situation. So he brought 2 units. Is it 2 units or 1 unit? Might only be 1 unit. 1 unit of Triarii. We've got 2 units here. 2 units of armoured legionaries, and 4 units of Praetorian Guard. Obviously general bodyguard, but that is what it is. Auxiliary slingers, auxiliary archers, more of them. 6 units of ranged altogether. He also brought elephants. So we all brought elephants. And he brought the 2 units or 3 units? 2 units of Praetorian cavalry, and then very heavy shock cav as well. So I actually quite like the army composition. Pretty much everyone's gone for it, other than my opponent. I think he went really heavy on the pikes. But anyway, let's start the battle. So the only real mistake I made early on was not getting enough of my infantry up closer. But it was obvious how the Egypt were gonna really line up, trying to box me in at the ford. So it's, in hindsight, which is 2020, it's a good idea I took the ford rather than the bridge initially. So I'm just going to slow it down because I've not seen any of what's gone on over here. So yeah, archers to the shoreline and a unit of thorax on the bridge as well. So unit literarii, fair enough. They're probably going to get absolutely slaughtered, I would have thought. No, maybe not. And moving up his missile troops as well. So what my opponent did was, I believe, lay some of these traps on the ground, but then march his elephants right through them, which is not the best way to start a battle. So he lost a few elephants there. Didn't lose his general, I don't believe. He loses his general a little bit later on. Oh, that's a spoiler. My bad. So, the second mistake we had is leaving these pikemen with their flank exposed. Goodness me. To my cavalry. So I just thought, right, well, let's fire in on them, chew them up. Even as Royal Hellenic Guard, they're not going to last forever. Being shot out like that. Don't know what that was. So it starts moving both sets of his missile units around each flank as well. Pretty standard stuff for this type of battle. Managed to get a few shots in at the elephants as well, which is always good. Take them down. And then we moved up the Peltus as well to really get in on this, on the flank of this Hellenic Royal Guard. It's just the best way of, well, sorting them out. The most vulnerable unit there, other than the actual missile units themselves. I'm going to slow it down again a little bit more. I've been going for about a minute now. So over here we're just getting an exchange of missile fire. So he's finally put his Terrarii in Testudo formation. Should have done that from the get-go, really. But who am I? Looks like these guys have lost 1 unit of missiles already. We'll have to see how that progresses. Let's go back over to my side. No melee combat as of yet. I was quite happy to let the Peltus get taken out, really. I mean, they're there for a purpose. Just to try and, you know, use their ammunition. Take out the enemy. So, one of the mistakes that my opponent made was to leave this huge gap here. You can probably see my mouse moving around. Huge gap here that actually was passable. So we sent the what have we got going in here? We've got Libyan infantry going in again, shot in the rear. They can send off their unit, and this unit is completely almost wiped out. But these Hellenic Guard are tough. Let me tell you, tough. So I sent in all of my sword units, brought in my Sacred Band, pushed up the Sacred Band as well, and managed to wrap around this side of their line, which for some reason they didn't cover with pikemen for some reason, which I don't really get. So I did send the Sacred Band after the elephants. Okay, elephants are better off being taken down with missile units, but it was the general, so, you know, take down the general gives you a massive advantage, was my thought process. And then we start pushing up my cavalry units as well, seeing that there's a gap opening, and all of these lovely targets here for my missile cav, my heavy shot cav to get in at. Now he's firing missiles at his own general as well. It's beautiful, really. I mean, yeah, my sacred band's getting torn up, but well worth it, in my opinion. There. So still not much going on over here. Oh no, wait, there is. So he decides to send his cataphracts across the bridge. That is a bit mental. I don't know if maybe he looked across the other side and saw that it was going a bit south, thought need to make a decision, need to make a move on here. But that's going to be a suicide mission, and they're just going to get absolutely shot to bits. I've got no idea what he's doing with them, to be fair. So let's move back over to my side of the battlefield. So since we've like really depleted that unit over there, just went for their archers on this side. While I was noticing that this side over here was opening up. The elephants had now been taken down. Sacred Band is massively depleted, but did its job. More than did its job, actually. And then we can send, let's go normal speed, send our noble cavalry into these bowmen, which they will absolutely destroy. You don't need me to tell you that, though. Moved them on as well to the next lot. And they will break pretty quickly as soon as they start to get a few losses from there. Also lost the general as well. In fairness, though, the Royal Hellenic Pikemen more than holding their ground against these guys, as you would expect. Head on, these sort of pikemen are absolutely horrendous at trying to take on. So, you know, you do need your missile units to help you get around the flank. Try and get your units around the flank. These guys here are going to would really struggle. So at this point, pretty much all my cavalry had come through this huge gap here, and brought them round. And I even sent in my pelters because they run out of ammunition, so better off use them for something, I guess. General units coming up as well, and shortly we'll be bringing up the elephants as well. So a lot of rear charges into the back of the pikemen. I'll be honest with you, the Hellenic Guard did not care. They do not care about taking those sort of losses. His ally brought over the general unit to try and give him some support, and sent across his slingers, presumably out of ammunition, which is just lambs to the slaughter. Not backed him up, left these guys just on the bridge. Don't know really what he's doing there, to be fair. Losing decisively, I would say, against the Romans. Romans have got it on lockdown over there. So noticing that this cavalry unit was coming up, I disengaged. My cavalry had already swung around the back to go and meet the general unit, which is a bit of a shame because I'd have liked to have had a few more hammer and anvil attacks in the back of these pikemen, but yeah. So I disengaged 2 units, I think. And this general unit is really strong, so more than a match for my cavalry, unfortunately. But these Royal Hellenic Guard just kept holding and holding, and didn't want to go down anytime soon. You know, more than a match for my Sacred Band even, which I just found incredible. So brought enough of my cavalry over to scare off the enemy general. He didn't take too many losses, but if it had stayed in combat any longer, he probably would have lost his general. It's never a good thing. Down to 12 mercenary Cretan archers there. Got my Cretan archers just getting slaughtered by some Royal Hellenic Guard. But, you know, just there to keep them tied up, keep them preoccupied. Sent my general into the back of these pikemen as well. Didn't do anywhere near as much impact as I thought they would. They got slowed down over here though, so it's to be expected. I think we are very close to the end. So this guy had already left about a minute ago, and these guys over here just conceded in the end, unfortunately. So I did take a high amount of losses. In fact, I lost way more and didn't kill as many as my opponent, but due to the fact I got around the back with the cavalry and everything, and killed his general, that just sort of whistled down his forces a lot more, which was quite good. My ally played a perfectly good battle. You know, he said he was just going to sit back, which he did, and nothing amazing. You know, not a high amount of kills, but then very few losses anyway. And then we get to Bactria. That's what it is, isn't it? Bactria, yeah. And yeah, their engagement with Rome was fairly minor, I guess. It was more the fact that it was more the impetus that was taken by Carthage over Egypt that sort of swung the battle, and then obviously once it was clear that Carthage had beaten Egypt, that was it, and they conceded. So not the greatest river battle ever. They are, you know, 2 choke points and deal with it. But in terms of a spectacle, I thought it was fairly okay. Sorry for the lack of close-up shots. I'm still trying to get used to doing a replay where I'm talking about, because I want to talk about tactics and movements, as well as showing you close-ups as well, because obviously you want to see people get stabbed in the throat, because that's half what Total War's all about. But I do hope you enjoyed the video, guys, anyway, and as always, I'll see you all on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye.